Imagine a button, a simple red button. It is sitting on a desk in an empty room. There is no warning label. There is no guard. If you press this button, the world doesn't explode. There is no fire. There is no scream. If you press it, reality simply ceases to exist. It is deleted, like a file on a computer. One moment you are there. The next moment there is nothing. Not even blackness. Just null. Now, imagine that this button exists, but it is not on a desk. It is everywhere. It is in the air you breathe right now. It is in the atoms of your skin. It is in the empty space between the stars. And the scariest part? No one needs to press it. It might press itself at any second, maybe in a billion years, or maybe right now. This sounds like a ghost story or science fiction, but it is not. This is a serious mathematical prediction of modern quantum physics. It is called false vacuum decay. It is the scientific theory that our universe is fundamentally unstable, that we are living on the edge of a jagged cliff, and we are slowly, very slowly, slipping. If this event happens, you won't feel it. You won't see it coming, because it travels at the speed of light. You cannot see something that moves as fast as your own vision. One moment, you are watching this video. The next, the laws of physics are rewritten. Your atoms fall apart. Chemistry stops working. Life becomes impossible. Today, we are going to confront the ultimate cosmic horror. We are going to look at the math that says our universe might be a lie. We will explore the Higgs boson, the quantum fields, and the bubble of death. Are you brave enough to know how it all ends? If you are, hit that subscribe button, because we are about to stare into the void. And the void is staring back. The illusion of empty space. To understand how the universe could delete itself, we first need to understand what the universe is actually made of. Look at the space in front of you. It looks empty. If you remove all the air, all the atoms, all the radiation, you are left with a perfect vacuum. Right? Wrong. Quantum physics tells us that empty space is a lie. There is no such thing as empty. Imagine the universe is filled with invisible oceans, fluid-like energy fields that stretch across every single inch of space and time, from the center of the Earth to the edge of the galaxy. These are called quantum fields. There is an electron field. There is a quark field. There is an electromagnetic field. You think of particles as tiny balls, but they aren't. When you see a particle, like an electron, that is just a wave in the electron field, like a ripple in the ocean. Think of the ocean. If the water is calm, it looks flat. That is empty space. But if you add energy, you create a wave. That wave is what we call matter. The entire universe, every star, every planet, every person, is just a collection of vibrations in these invisible fields. We are the music of the cosmos. But there is one field that is different. One field that is special. It is the master of them all. It is called the Higgs field. The cosmic molasses. Why is the Higgs field so important? Because it gives the universe its rules. In the 1960s, a physicist named Peter Higgs proposed a radical theory. He asked, why do things have mass? Why are some things heavy and some things light? Why does light fly at the speed of light, but you stay in your chair? He suggested that the Higgs field acts like a cosmic molasses, or a thick syrup. Imagine walking through air. It is easy. Now imagine walking through water. It is harder. Now imagine walking through honey. It is very hard. Particles interact with the Higgs field. The more they interact, the heavier they get. Photons, light, slice through the field without touching it, so they have no mass. They fly instantly. But electrons, Quarks, they get stuck in the syrup, they slow down, they gain mass. And because they gain mass, they can clump together to form atoms. And atoms form stars and life. Without the Higgs field, nothing would hold together. You would not exist. Your atoms would explode apart at the speed of light. The Higgs field is the glue of reality. But for 50 years, this was just a theory. We couldn't prove it. We couldn't see the field. To prove it, we had to break it. We had to create a ripple in the syrup. We had to find the Higgs boson. The discovery, the number that scared scientists. Geneva, Switzerland, buried 100 meters underground, the Large Hadron Collider, a 27-kilometer ring of massive magnets and sensors. It is the most complex machine ever built by the human species. Scientists spent billions of dollars to answer one question. Does the Higgs field exist? They smashed protons together at 99.99% the speed of light. They recreated the conditions of the Big Bang. They were trying to punch the universe to see what fell out. On July 4th, 2012, they found it. They detected a new particle, the Higgs boson. The media went crazy. They called it the God particle. Scientists popped champagne. People cheered. It was the greatest triumph of human intelligence in the 21st century. We had found the missing piece of the puzzle. But amidst the celebration, a few theoretical physicists looked at the data, and they stopped smiling. They looked at the mass of the Higgs boson, the weight of the particle. It measured approximately 125 giga-electron volts, GeV. That number, 125, is the problem. It is the most dangerous number in the universe. Let me explain. If the mass had been lighter, say 115 GeV, the universe would be unstable. It would have collapsed billions of years ago. We wouldn't be here. If the mass had been heavier, say 140 GeV, the universe would be perfectly stable, rock solid. It would last forever. But 125? 125 puts us right in the middle. It puts us in the Goldilocks zone of destruction. It suggests that the universe is not stable, but it is not unstable either. It is metastable. The ball on the cliff, potential energy. What does metastable mean? This is the core of the false vacuum theory. Let me explain with a simple image. In physics, everything in the universe is lazy. Everything wants to have the lowest possible energy. A ball on a hill rolls down. A hot cup of coffee cools down. A stretched rubber band wants to snap back. Everything seeks the ground state, the bottom of the valley, the vacuum. If the Higgs field is in the true vacuum, it is like a ball sitting at the very bottom of a valley. It has no potential energy. If you kick it, it just rolls back. This is a safe universe. This is what we hoped we lived in. But the number 125 tells us something else. It tells us the ball is not at the bottom. Imagine the ball is stuck in a little dip, high up on the side of a mountain. It looks stable. It isn't moving. You can build a house on it. You can evolve a civilization on it. You can live your life on it for 13.8 billion years, but it is not at the bottom. There is a much deeper valley, far below, the true vacuum. This means our universe has potential energy trapped inside it. We are balancing on a ledge. The empty space around you is not truly empty. It is tense, like a loaded spring, or a dam holding back water. Between us and the edge, there is a small wall, an energy barrier. It holds the ball in place. For eons, that wall has kept us safe. But in the quantum world, walls are not solid. In the quantum world, rules can be broken because of a phenomenon called quantum tunneling. Quantum tunneling, breaking the rules. You see, classical physics says, if a ball doesn't have enough energy to roll over the hill, it stays there. But quantum mechanics is different. Quantum mechanics is probabilistic. It says particles don't have a fixed position. They are probability clouds. If you throw a tennis ball at a wall, it bounces back. Every time. But if you throw an electron at a wall, most of the time it bounces back. But sometimes, rarely, it just ghosts right through the wall. It disappears on one side and appears on the other. Without breaking the wall, without using energy. This is quantum tunneling. This is not magic. It is real. It is how the sun shines. Protons tunnel into each other to create fusion. It is how your computer chips work. It is a fundamental fact of our reality. But it is also our doom. Now, apply this to the Higgs field. Remember the ball on the ledge? The ball represents the energy state of the entire universe. The wall holding it up is the energy barrier. According to the laws of quantum mechanics, there is a tiny non-zero probability that the entire Higgs field could tunnel through the barrier. It could slip through the wall and fall down into the true vacuum. It doesn't need a reason. It doesn't need a trigger. It doesn't need a villain to press the button. It is random. It is probabilistic. It could happen in 1 trillion years, or it could happen right now. Somewhere in the universe, a single point in space decides to drop its energy level. Just one tiny point, but that is all it takes. Because once that point falls, it drags everything else with it. A bubble forms. And that bubble is the executioner of reality. The bubble of death. Let's go back to that single point in space, that one unlucky electron, or that one vibration in the Higgs field. It tunnels through the wall, it drops into the true vacuum. What happens next? It releases energy, a lot of energy. Because the true vacuum is a lower energy state, the difference has to go somewhere. It pushes outward. A sphere forms, a bubble. Inside this bubble is the true vacuum. Outside is our false vacuum. This bubble wall is not made of matter. It is made of pure energy, and it starts to expand. It eats the space around it, and as it eats, it releases more energy, which makes it expand faster. In a fraction of a second, it reaches the ultimate speed limit, the speed of light. But here is the true horror. It is not just an explosion. An explosion just breaks things. This bubble rewrites things. Remember the Higgs field? It gives mass to particles. Inside the bubble, the value of the Higgs field is different. It might be 0. It might be 1 billion times stronger. This means the standard model of physics simply deletes itself. The laws of nature inside the bubble are different. Maybe electrons suddenly become heavy. Maybe they can't orbit the nucleus anymore. Chemistry becomes impossible. Atoms cannot hold together. If this bubble hits you, you don't burn. You don't explode. Your biology simply ceases to function. Your molecules fall apart into a soup of quantum dust. You are fundamentally unmade. You are formatted. The speed of silence. Now, you might be thinking, if this happens, surely we will see it coming. Surely we will see a bright light in the sky. Surely the astronomers will warn us. No, they won't, because of Einstein. In our universe, information travels at the speed of light. If the sun explodes right now, we wouldn't know for 8 minutes and 20 seconds. We would still see the sun shining. We would still feel the heat, because the light takes time to travel. But the false vacuum bubble, it expands at the speed of light. Think about what that means. The warning signal, the light, and the killer, the bubble, are traveling together, shoulder to shoulder. The light cannot get ahead of the bubble to warn you. If a bubble formed on the sun right now, it would race towards Earth at 186,000 miles per second. You would look up at the sky. You would see the sun shining perfectly. You would feel warm. You would be safe. And then, instantaneously, darkness, deletion. Your brain wouldn't even have time to process the signal from your eyes. Your neurons wouldn't have time to fire. 1 nanosecond you exist. The next nanosecond you don't. You would never know you died. The entire human race would vanish mid-sentence. It is the perfect crime, the ultimate stealth killer. Is it happening now? So, is it happening? Is there a bubble racing towards us right now? The universe is big. It is 93 billion light years wide. The chances of a bubble forming right here are small, but the chances of a bubble forming somewhere, over billions of years, those chances are much higher. In fact, some cosmologists speculate that it might have already happened. Maybe 1 billion light years away, a bubble nucleated 1 million years ago, and it is currently eating a galaxy far, far away. We can't see it, because the light from the destruction hasn't reached us yet, and it never will, because the destruction arrives with the light. However, there is one saving grace: cosmic expansion. The universe is expanding, and it is accelerating. Space is stretching faster than the speed of light in some places. If a bubble forms far enough away, the space between us and the bubble might stretch faster than the bubble can grow. We might be running away from the explosion faster than the explosion can catch us. We are safe, simply because we are lonely, isolated by the expansion of the dark void. A new universe? The alternative. But there is another perspective, a perspective that isn't about death, it is about birth. What is the interior of the bubble? We call it death because it destroys our chemistry, but maybe it creates a new chemistry. Inside the true vacuum, the laws of physics are stable. They are grounded. Maybe inside that bubble, new particles form, new kinds of atoms, new kinds of stars, maybe even new kinds of life. Life that we cannot comprehend, life that thrives in the true vacuum. To them, we are the unstable ones. We are the glitch in the system, and the bubble is just nature correcting a mistake. Perhaps our universe, the one we love, is just a temporary phase, like ice melting into water. Ice is solid, water is liquid. The transition destroys the ice, but it creates the ocean. Maybe vacuum decay is just the universe melting into something better. We won't be there to see it, but something else might. The fragility of existence. So, why am I telling you this? Why make you afraid of something you cannot stop, something you cannot see? Because it changes how you look at this. Look around you. Look at the stability of the floor beneath your feet. Look at the sunlight hitting your hand. We assume this is permanent. We act like we have forever. But physics tells us that existence is a privilege. The fact that our atoms hold together is a miracle of the Higgs field. The fact that our sun burns is a delicate balance of quantum tunneling. We are walking on a tightrope over an infinite abyss, and we have been walking it for 13.8 billion years. We are lucky, incredibly, statistically lucky, so don't waste it. Don't waste your time worrying about the things you can't control. The button might be pressed tomorrow, or it might not be pressed for another trillion years. But today the laws of physics are on your side. Use them. This is Mind Odyssey. If this video gave you an existential crisis, good. That means you are paying attention. Subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. And tell me in the comments, if the universe ended in 1 second, what would be your last thought? I'll see you in the next one. As long as the vacuum holds,